Hi everyone, Nancy Burt-Preece here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, trying to get that straight there. Here's all my contact information. Feel free to contact me if you don't have a demonstrator, and please check out my social media. Yes, today is Labor Day, but I wanted to get in the habit of doing a Monday, either a video that I will do live, or I would like to post a video that I have made sooner than that. So I admit I took a little nap here today, so I'm a little late here, but I wanted to show you I'm in the design process. And what I'm doing is I'm casing this from Amy Koenders, and I made this, which is our basic beige. I always have to think of the measurements. I made it 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 because this wonderful background is an embossing folder. I don't know if you can see that pretty clearly. And that comes from the Peace on Earth suite. So I liked that because these two came from that also. Then I used Amber Autumn to cut out that and for the Autumn Wishes. So I'm just in the process. So what I did is I embossed this piece. This is from the brown metallic paper. And this is another basic beige. I stamped Autumn Wishes with Cajun Craze because you know this is one of my favorite colors. And then I cut this out and I was just about to color it. So I'm using Darling Duckling for the corn. And I'm using the darker one, but that's a personal preference. If you come to my class, I'll have them both out. This is going to be an October project. I am ahead of the game, which is unusual and wonderful. Oh, that gourd. Maybe I'm going to get another crumb cake. I'm trying to think, like what colors are gourds? If you wanted to do some preliminary shading, use some of the marks that Stampin' Up! Has already given us. This is dark crumb cake. And now I'm using light crumb cake, and I'm going to use a small end. And then I'm going to blend them together. And it gives you a blended look without having to work too hard. I'm going to do the same thing with the dark pumpkin pie. And I'm going to come in on my pumpkins. Do a little bit down here, maybe a little bit here. I'm not doing exact, as you can see. Some people try to be 100% exact. That is not me. I don't. I just kind of give an example of what it would be. Then I'm going to come back in with the light, not the Timid Tiger, the light pumpkin pie. And I'm going to blend them together. And I'm using the bigger end because this is a larger space. Isn't that easy? It's so easy to create really neat effects. And you all know I'm trying to use lots of different coloring designs, but my favorite is the blends. Now I'm using Old Olive. I'll do the dark one first. And I'm not taking a ton of time on that. Just a little bit there. And I'm going to go like here. And then I'm going to come back through. I'm also going to, what color do you put the thing on the corn? It's probably a darker, right? But I'm going to go with a light Darling Duckling. So maybe I should have done this part. I'm like, well, the corn husks, what colors are those? Not sure. When you go to color, it's like, golly gee, I don't know. Coming back through with that dark old olive. These are my favorite colors of our Stampin' Up! Colors. I love fall. I love the fall colors. I just think it's beautiful. I'm going to go, I can come back in and add here. And you notice I'm just kind of going in a circular motion. Now, for the top, I'm going to add a little bit because they look kind of, I'm going to add a little yellow. I don't know why, but they just look like some of the yellow that you see at harvest time. What am I going to add under here? Just a teeny tiny bit of the dark pumpkin pie. I'm going to pop this up. And put that to the side. That's why you notice I stamped the Autumn Wishes way over to the right. Then we have some neat streaked dots. Say that 20 times. I tend to like to do a large one up there. And probably a couple little ones down here. So now I have my inside of my card, and I have another piece of the basic beige. This one is 5 1/4 by 4, so it's your basic inside. And if you come to my class, it'll be different because this one, of course, will be embossed and this one will not be. So what I wanted to say is I think I'm going to put, you can put grateful for you. I'm going to put blessed to have you in my life. Now, a lot of people are confused when they get their stamps. How do I mount these? So I'm going to do a quick show. However, if you are on my newsletter list, if you're not and you want to be, please reach out to me. That Stampin' Up! Is going to be phasing out red rubber. And a lot of people have a lot of thoughts on that. I'm not opposed. I use red rubber, but I'm not opposed to having it be phased out because everybody goes, how do you get your stamps so that there's no extra lines? I do stamp surgery here. I'm trimming around. I make sure I don't cut any part that's going to be stamped, but I cut it closer to the stamped image because mine are used in class all the time. And I don't want people to have images, extra images that they don't want. So now let me grab a block to put that on, and that's not quite a big enough block. Let me grab another one. And I'm going to stamp. Got a mess here. That's how I usually am in my stamp room. Move this to the side. I'm going to put blessed to have you in my life, grateful for you. There's lots of great sentiments that can be used. I'm putting that in Cajun Craze. Now, somebody's like, oh, I stamped it. It's crooked. What do I do? Turn it over. And here's a little tip that I like. Look at that bottom line. Try to get that lined up because I might not have put this on the block. I kind of did it quick as you saw. And it is often much better if you're just a minute and lock that in a little bit better. So we have a choice. Some people are watching, so you can tell me, I'm thinking instead of doing that again, I am going to, see, I'm just going rogue here on this one. And you know what? Sometimes I think it's good for you to see me, how I do things. Because people are like, oh, how did you do it? Well, it's kind of a mess, usually. But you never know. Sometimes I really think it out, and sometimes I don't. But I love this leaf image, and I love the little acorns. I think they're so cute. So I'm going to put that here. Some of my customers do not like to color, and some do. So if you're a person that doesn't like to color, you will not like this card as much. I don't think it's particularly hard coloring, but if you're not a person that likes to color, you're going to say, I don't like this one. And that's okay. So what I'm going to specifically do for this is not do a really intricate coloring. I'm going to show you how you can color this and not make it very difficult at all. And I actually cut out another pumpkin to show you the same thing so that you can say, hey, this doesn't have to be really difficult. What I will do is always stamp it in Memento when you're using it with our Stampin' Blends. That is the ink color of choice. I'm going to make sure I got that inked up really good. And I'm going to put that, oh, I guess I'll put it down like this. So now I want to show you a way to color that isn't really very difficult. I'm going to start, I had to bring in pecan pie because I just did. I'm going to use dark pecan pie, and the only thing I'm going to do that's very hard is I'm going to come around here and just kind of make the outline. And then I'm just going to kind of scribble. I like to do circular motions. I think they look, okay, so that took like what? 1 minute. If you have a little teeny part of light showing, leave it. My husband actually trained in art, and he's like, a little white space is a good thing. Now I'm coming down with the light pecan pie, circular. I'm not doing any shading at all. Super quick. Next, I'm coming with, what is this? Darling Duckling. I'm going to do the outline of this leaf in Darling Duckling. And I don't know if I'm doing the correct colors for the real tree leaf. You know, I can do anything I want because I'm creating. But you can do whatever else you think too. Because some people are like, no, I have to do the correct thing for the leaf. Circular. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a pecan pie leaf. Because it just seems like I should do a pecan pie leaf. And I'm going to come around. This time I might use a small edge just to get it a little bit more accurate than I did last time. I'm just coming around. Then I'm going to quickly circular. And if there's a little bit of a white space that I leave, I could be doing that intentionally. Okay, look, I didn't go completely down here. I didn't go completely there, and I'm leaving it because it's an artsy look. When you are using your Stampin' Blends, make sure you're using it on something that you're going to put this over something because it does show through. So here we go. Autumn Wishes. Blessed to have you in my life. These are easy peasy. That one I did a little bit more. Now I actually cut out, it's over here someplace. I think it is. Here it is. Another one. And I'm going to just put a little bit of scrap behind it. in case I go off. And this time, now if I was really thinking, you notice that this was a little bit darker than that. If I was going to do that again, I might do the lighter pecan. I don't mind the leaf, but I might do the lighter pumpkin pie. I'm not opposed to this because it's the inside. Here's my next one. So I'm going to make this one easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do dark crumb cake. And I'm going to do that on the stems. I should do those on green. What am I doing? Dark old olive on the stems. That one's a stem. That one's a stem. Okay. Then I'm going to do light old olive on the leaves. I'm not doing any kind of shading. I'm doing it as quickly as I can without making a mess. If you were doing this at a class, you could, it's a big image to cut out, so you can easily color it after you cut it out. But you could also go ahead and color it and then cut it out. It's a personal preference. I'm going to make having a hard time seeing any kind of comments. So if anybody has a comment, I will look later. I'm going to do the dark duckling on the shucking of the corn. And I'm going to do the light on the inside. And you notice I'm just kind of going little circle, just getting it in there. I'm going to do the dark, I'm thinking dark for my gourd. I might wish I had done the light, but I didn't. Actually, I don't mind the dark. And then for my pumpkin, I'm going to do the light pumpkin pie, and I keep picking up the wrong one. Because last time it seemed really dark. So I'm not doing any shading. Stampin' Up! Has done all the shading for me. Even without shading, it looks excellent. And I'm going really quickly. The last thing I'm going to do is a little bit of dark crumb cake. I mean, I'm going quick here. And then I'll come back through. There's a couple little green parts. I'll just add a little bit of green there. A little bit of green here. Did a little different than last time. I'm going to come with the light. Darling duckling. So really, when you're coloring, it doesn't have to be, and I'm coloring that yellow. I should probably color it green, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be really difficult. And I think that's the important part. It doesn't have to be difficult. So I hope you give this card a try. You just start with a regular card base. Then you do your embossing. I made it a little bit bigger so you had a little bit of room. This is that new metallic paper in the new catalog. Add this one on there. And then you just color. I won't do the inside again. Isn't this a simple card, but it packs a big wow? So thank you for coming today. I hope you come back every Monday and throughout the week to see whatever I'm doing and what I'm posting. I hope you have a happy Labor Day.